Hey there, everyone. Happy Monday. King 5 meteorologist Adam Claibon. A smoky, very hazy Monday and a way to start off the work week as we're now in the third day of August, and we're really going to be dealing with more of the heat here for this first full work week of August. So we're going to get into the details of that, and what we're going to talk about is not only just the smoke haze around and the heat, but also the poor air quality that might come about because of some of that smoke that's going to be around for us here over the next few days. We do have first alert days out, yes, because of the heat and the smoke, so we're going to get right into that because we got quite a bit to talk about here. And first I wanted to show you what's happening satellite-wise, and you can tell there's a good amount of that smoke haze across not only just eastern Washington, but across the western side of the state as well. Now, I wanted to show you where we're seeing probably more of the impacts with that haze. We're noticing it generally from about that Snohomish-King County line and for areas farther to the south. That's where we're going to keep an eye out for more of that to be here as we get ready to head on into the evening. And you can see that extends all the way out to even parts of the coast. Now, if you're north of there, not to say that you don't have any smoke haze in the air, but skies have been a bit more blue for you. Now, we'll have a bit more of a northerly flow here as we head on into the night. That's going to push it out of here, but we're going to have some ebbs and flows when it comes to where exactly this smoke haze will be. We'll see some of it as far north as, yes, Skagit and Whatcom County, so get ready for that here, especially once we head into the day tomorrow. We also have air quality alerts out, but it's not going to be for those locations farther to the north. It will be for areas here farther to the south, so more on that here right now. Here it is. You can see that showing up on our graphic in more of the grayish color. So from Snohomish County down through King County and all the way through more of the I-5 corridor, and that's where you see the air quality alerts going all the way down to the Oregon state line. They could see some poor air quality over there too, and I don't want to exclude what's happening farther east across the state either, because that's where you can see not only are we having poor air quality alerts over there, but we're also having just poor air quality in general, unhealthy, very unhealthy, and these are the reportings of what's happening currently here into the early part of more of our Monday evening. You can see for western Washington, we're not really seeing much in terms of an impact yet when it comes to our air quality, but I think we will start to see more of that, especially once we head on into the day tomorrow. These air quality alerts in effect until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, so we're already now in the air quality alert, but again, as far as when exactly will it start to bring some poor air quality here to western Washington, probably get ready for more of that heading on into the day for Tuesday. And as far as the forecast tomorrow, you can see that's showing that unhealthy for sensitive group category for some of the air quality that's going to be around here as we head on into Tuesday. Farther north, more moderate, and farther west too over the Olympic Peninsula, more moderate air quality, with areas farther to the east again dealing with much more of the hassle of this poor air quality as the smoke continues to try to work its way here farther west across the state. And what's happening is we're seeing that this smoke is getting really banked here across some parts of the eastern slopes of the Cascades. And so with that being the case, that's why you start to get that to really concentrate in a few spots, and you get that very, very unhealthy air quality to happen over there. While for us here on this side of the mountains, we get it from time to time, and you can see the ebbs and flows going more north to south from time to time. And eventually, as we head on into Tuesday night, starting to see things improve at least a little bit when it comes to that. And as we go on into Wednesday, well, we still have some, especially across the eastern side of the state, but we are going to see some improvements. So we talked about the smoke. Now let's talk about the heat, because last few days it's actually been fairly comfortable. Even Monday was not too bad in terms of the heat. Back on the 21st and 22nd of July, we had a couple of days straight in the 90s. Guess what? I think we're going to be back into that territory again for Wednesday and Thursday. So, mentioned first alert days. We're going to be in them tomorrow for Wednesday and Thursday. For the heat that we're expecting, some pretty warm nights too to go along with that. There is going to be an elevated fire danger, especially once we start to heat things up and bring back more of that offshore flow. But the smoke haze too and the poor air quality, all going to be issues for us here across pretty much the entirety of western Washington. All right, here's a look at your 7-day forecast, seeing the next 3 days kind of highlighted in red for first alert mode here. Temperatures in the 90-degree territory for both Wednesday and Thursday. And I will say this, depending on how much of the smoke haze we have around, those numbers could come down just a bit because you block out some of the solar radiation coming down to try to heat the Earth's surface. If we don't have as much of that, obviously temperatures are not going to get quite as warm. Let's take a look and show you some different areas to kind of give you an idea of what this smoke is doing. So the farther west you are and the farther north you are, like here around Hurricane Ridge, you actually see a good amount of those blue skies. We can see over the Olympics pretty well there. While looking up this way around Mount Rainier, a lot more, and that smoke haze, even though we are higher up, definitely still not helping us, as we are probably more into the smoke haze there. Heading out towards the south coast, Westport, we're doing pretty good as far as smoke haze is concerned. And the farther north you are, again, Hansville, skies a lot more blue there. While looking at Granite Falls, we got a lot more of those hazy skies here into more of our evening into Monday. Bellingham, we'll go up this way, and you can see there are some clearer skies up here, so things have actually been doing pretty well up this way around Whatcom County and Port Angeles. Now, these are our northern locations where we have a lot less of the smoke haze in place. Head farther south, and where we should typically see Mount Rainier here in this view from our Tacoma camera, which should be right around here somewhere. No sign of it at all. Very thick smoke showing up in the upper parts of our atmosphere so far. Kind of a bit more of it here around Everett, Snohomish County. Again, the farther north you are and the farther west you look, which that camera is pointing off towards the west, there's a little less of it. That's why we had a small amount of blue showing up in the sky, but our Columbia Tower camera here in Seattle shows off towards the east that we have a lot of that smoke haze in place. All right, a couple of more spots. We'll show you here in SEA, looking at the airport there, hazy skies, and then here in downtown Seattle's. Temperatures have been very steady around the lower 70s for a lot of the afternoon. That smoke haze helping to limit some of the heating we've been doing, and that north wind coming in at 12 miles per hour. Well, thankfully, that's been helping us out here near the surface to keep that air quality from getting too poor. The icons, they show clear skies, but keep this in mind that we are going to have the smoke haze in place here as we head on into the night. So maybe by the time we head into late tonight or maybe even early tomorrow morning, especially the farther south you go, you might start to smell a few of those whiffs of smoke in the air. Temperatures again, upper 60s and lower 70s, mid 70s down around more of Shelton, Olympia, and in Chehalis. So we've seen a little more heating down that way, but definitely have been keeping things a bit cooler because of all the smoke that's in place. You can even see eastern Washington, Wenatchee, around areas such as Yakima. They were sitting in the 70s here into Monday afternoon. That shows you how thick that smoke has been, because we would typically get a lot hotter over there, especially in a setup that we're about to see right now with this area of high pressure building and keeping things very quiet and clear here across this part of the country. Futurecast, you'll see little in terms of cloud coverage. Again, the smoke haze might even block that out, so it's going to be tough to see anything, but we'll keep things nice and quiet. You'll see that a few more of those clouds coming in from the west will start to show us signs, at least, of a disturbance that will be working its way up more so into BC, but eventually bringing us a little more of that onshore push. Not so much so on Wednesday, and really a little more of it, but still not a whole lot on Thursday, but it's later on into the week, into Friday and Saturday, that we definitely start to see things coming a bit more onshore and helping us to cool down. So here we are Thursday night at about 9:30. You can see that system right out there over the Pacific, helping to bring some light shower activity up across parts of BC and southeast Alaska. That's going to continue its way on from the west to the east as we continue on into the day on Friday. And it's going to push on through, and it's really going to help to bring back more of this onshore flow, which is going to thankfully cool things down and start to blow a lot more of that smoke haze out of our skies here into western Washington. The concern, though, at that point is how much of that wind really picks up heading across the eastern side of the state, heading on into this upcoming weekend, because you just saw here over the weekend how that could become a very big issue. This system doesn't look to have as much energy in it, so hopefully it's not dealing with as much wind as that comes on through, but that will be happening here as we head on into the latter part of the work week and into the weekend. And with that, well, highs will go from more around those lower 90s to down to around the mid 80s, and eventually more so the lower 80s to start off the weekend. And then we're talking about more 70s heading into Sunday and then into the following work week, where the average is at 79. Looks like we'll be dealing with some more cooler than average temperatures as opposed to warmer than average temperatures. These numbers tonight are going to be cool in a few spots. Some lower 50s out towards the west there. Port Angeles, Quileute, Hoquiam, all in the low 50s, upper 40s even too. For Shelton at 47 there, 50 in Olympia, while seeing more spots in the mid to perhaps even the upper 50s farther north across areas of Puget Sound. And then we head on to the day tomorrow, that hazy sunshine in place. So for us around Mount Vernon, we top off at 84, Lake Kavanaugh, 85 degrees, 70s over more of the islands, going up from the San Juans down this way around Camano and Whidbey Island. As you go farther inland here, Areas across Snohomish County, some lower to mid 80s as the heat tries to pick up. We'll be at about 79 in Shoreline, 81 in Bainbridge Island, 85 there in Bremerton with 87 and 88 for Snoqualmie and in Issaquah. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 80s around Tacoma and in Puyallup. Lower 90s possible around Olympia and in Tenino, with areas farther south there and definitely seeing more than 90s down the I-5 corridor, where we are going to be seeing a lot more of the heat and heat advisories down closer to the state of Oregon. So that's where we'll be seeing a lot more of that heat in place. And for areas farther to the north, you'll see that we'll see more of the 60s and 70s out towards the immediate coastline, especially up that way near Nia Bay. But then as you get just off the water, it's going to heat up and heat up quite a bit too. 83 in Forks, we'll top off at 79 in Sequim. And then around areas such as Lake Cushman and Shelton in the lower 90s, Elma getting up to 90 degrees. And then your 7-day forecast here, next 3 days, definitely highlighted because of the potential for the impacts from the smoke and also from the heat that's going to be in place. And we'll see heading on into Friday and Saturday, we'll start to see things cooling on down and becoming a lot more comfortable as we get the smoke haze on out of here. And as of earlier here into your Monday evening, still waiting on word to see if we are going to see anything as far as any sort of high heat across the area, and we'll see if we have to deal with any sort of heat advisories heading into those states here later on into the week. And if that does happen, of course, we'll keep you updated on here and let you know. Okay, everyone, well, make sure to be safe, and also if you are going to be a bit more sensitive to that smoke, you have some respiratory issues, that you do take the necessary precaution here over the next few days and prepare for the heat too as we head throughout the days Tuesday through Thursday. We'll talk to you soon. Have a magnificent Monday night.